in the state in the short term and will result in potential benefits in the long term. Upon consideration of the legal opinion and the fiscal impact analysis report, I directed the request be processed in accordance with the applicable rules governing the introduction of bills in the House. Subsequently, subsequent to the drafting of the bill, and in pursuance of Order 186, I directed the Committee on Private Members' Bill and Private Members' Motion to consider and advise me on whether the bill complies with the relevant constitutional provisions. The committee observed that the bill complies with the relevant constitutional requirements and unanimously advised that the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana Amendment Bill 2025 be introduced before the House. Honorable members, I have carefully considered the report of the committee and I have formed the view that the bill does not impose or alter any taxation, nor does it create a charge on the consolidated fund within the meaning of Article 108 of the Constitution. The bill has duly undergone all the requisite stages in accordance with the standing orders of the House. Accordingly, I direct that the Business Committee schedule the bill for the presentation to the House. Please, I so direct. So, Business Committee, in your next meeting, please schedule these two bills, and copies will be given to all members. And I want to call on all members to take time to read the provisions. These are two critical bills for the consideration of this House. We'll take our time to go through them. They will not be rushed through the House. And at the end of the day, please, we'll be addressing the interests of the people we represent. I thank you all for your attention. May we now take item 5, correction of votes and proceedings and official report. We'll start with the correction of votes and proceedings of Friday, 6th February 2026. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Yes, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, may I respectfully draw your kind attention to page 10, item 12, paragraph 2, line 2. Speaker, you will notice that there is a quotation mark that has been opened, but it's incomplete. The phrase is incomplete. Or any other person, I guess the next word should be designated. Speaker, I take motivation from the fact that if you go to paragraph 3 of the same page, line 2, it is properly captured. So I guess the word designated has been omitted inadvertently. Thank you.
Table office kindly cross-check and make the necessary corrections. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Yes, honorable member.
Speaker, with respect, page 18, item 3, Roman numeral 2, Mr. Eric Affo. Indeed, he's an MP, but he's not the Minister for Food and Agriculture. He is the chairman for the Committee on Economy. But then if the reverse, if it's the Minister of Food and Agriculture that is being referred, then I guess the proper name should be Eric Opoku. Thank you.
Table office, cross-check with the clerk to the committee to confirm who was present and then capture that person who was present, whether it was Mr. Eric Affo or Mr. Eric Opoku. I think that will come from the clerk to the committee. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, in all sincerity, I was not present. I was not here.
And so your title has been given to Eric Affo. So you are hereby table office, so kindly take and Minister for Food and Agriculture out of it. Please delete that. Page 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page 27. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the fourth sitting dated Friday, 6th February 2026 is adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honorable members, the honorable member who is very meticulous and always drawing our attention to errors on the rules and proceedings But that singular act alone qualifies, through my discretion, to always participate in a number of international conferences. So, those of you who say that you are new MPs and you don't get the opportunity to contribute, assess yourselves. Okay. We have decided to upload one of our IT facilities here. And so we'll be starting soon a pilot on e-voting. Now, all of you have to get your bio into the system from where you sit. There are still a few challenges with some seating arrangements. I want to call on the leadership to resolve it. If you can't find a solution, bring it up to me. I will assist you to do so. Well, we need it urgently. That has delayed us unloading the facility. We need to do e-voting. You don't need to stand up and be counted again. And we want to start the pilot. And it will be started and connected to my desk. And so I can identify. After we have stabilized it, we will link it to all the facilities here so that you yourself can sit where you are and then follow the voting pattern. At the end of the day, we will not be depending on the integrity and capabilities of our staff in trying to identify and to count the votes. This will start this meeting. Please, leaders, that's the last plea. Make sure you resolve this, just a small difference between those seated at this end, where you have the merger. We have to settle that one. Thank you so much for your attention. We now move to the next item. Yes, Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my first issue is that we are very grateful that you are taking cognizance of people who are participating in ensuring that votes of proceedings are correctly managed. But I would like to draw your attention to one of our popular contributors here, and that is Dr. Nyako. He has also been participating. I don't think you have acknowledged him for that. And so I'm drawing your attention to Dr. Nyako's participation in correction of votes and proceedings. Thank you. On the other hand, Professor Kingsley Nyako. Thank you.
You are always here. And you know, I acknowledge Professor Nyako many times. Last year, I did. I acknowledged him many times. And even this year, early in the year, I know where he sits. And then he used to sit at that pillar. And I've acknowledged him many times, and I've exercised my discretion in his favor many times. He hasn't shared that with you. Please.
Other issue, Mr. Speaker.
Go on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The other issue is also about sitting arrangement. I think we are very grateful that now you want to be part of because we have 2 of our members who are not having seats at the moment, and it's very important that we resolve that issue. So we will be seeking your participation in ensuring that everybody is well seated in this parliament. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please kindly bring it up. We'll resolve it. Within 5 minutes, we should have the solution to that. Any more? Honorable members, we proceed. Item 7, statements. Sorry, before statements, my attention has been drawn to the fact that we haven't taken the official report. I have a copy of the official report of Friday, 19th December 2025. Any corrections? Official report, Friday, 19th December 2025. Any corrections? Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of Friday, 19th December 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I wish to pray you that we divide the order of business from taking the business under 7 to taking the one under 8. Speaker, so it's been quite difficult to get the Honorable Minister for Agric, so that today that he's here, we can take him quickly. And then, yes. So Speaker, I pray that we take item number 8, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister for Food and Agri, you heard him loud and clear. I don't need to repeat it. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, the application mounted by the Chief Whip is interesting, especially when he prefixed his application with the fact that he's been struggling to get the Agri Minister. The ministers must come and wait. This is the Parliament of Ghana. Oh yes. Abba. So it is not the case that he's here, so we should vary our order of business. No. We will vary our order of business because we want to do so, not because the minister is here. And that's what I expect you to say. Yes. Say that. Say it. Say it. Say it. He has been busy, moving around the country, and I commend him for obvious reasons. Yes.
Speaker, indeed, my intention is to say that the Minister of Agri has been very busy touring the country, ensuring that we have bumper harvest. That's my intention. And so, Mr. Speaker, today that he is here, we want to pray that we take his business quickly. In fact, the prayer is to you. It's not to the minority chief whip. And you didn't invite him into this matter. No, Mr. Speaker didn't invite you into this matter. So, Speaker, my humble prayer is that we humbly pray for a variation so that we can take the question standing in the name of the Minister for Food and Agric before we come back to... Sorry.
Definitely, I'll grant the application.
Speaker, we are not objecting. Out of patriotism, we understand. And so we can go by the application, Speaker. No objection. So that we'll take his
yes
instead of...
Majority Chief Whip, you said you've been finding it difficult.
Speaker, that is withdrawn. That is withdrawn. That is not my intention at all.
Minority Chief Whip said, you've been struggling. There are different things. It's not for you to argue over it, but I just wanted the attention of the minister to be drawn to that so that he could advise the House what struggle and what difficulty they've been having. Have they relayed that to you, Minister?
Speaker, it is withdrawn.
No, let the minister respond.
Speaker, indeed, I really want to even make a further prayer that before we take, you consider the prayer for varying the business to take the business under item number 8. We want to pray to take item number 10, so that the minister responsible for education will only lay the paper under item number 10. Just lay, Mr. Speaker.
Now, what do you want?
Mr. Speaker.
Do you want the 8 first or you want the 10 first?
10 first, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
10 first.
But
thank you very much.
I will not take his word away from him. Minister for Food and Agri, what do you have to say?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, indeed, last week, the Honorable Chief Whip indicated to me that he's been struggling to get me on phone because I've been on the field working on the distribution of the Nkukon Ketenkete to beneficiaries. And so I told him that this week I'm supposed to be in Bruno East, but I've asked some other colleagues to go and do the distribution on my behalf, and therefore I'll be available in the House. And so he's right in making that statement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Actually, the work of this House is not subject to the availability of any minister. Once the work is before us, we can carry on with or without the ministers. That is why some of them have assistant ministers, referred to as deputy ministers. Apart from that, we can move on without them. They are ready, and they have submitted the business to us. It's for us to do our parts and get it through. So please, we are not dependent on the availability or non-availability of ministers. Let's carry on with our business. In terms of seniority, the Minister of Education takes precedence. And so I agree with the Majority Chief Whip, we should take item 10 first, which is presentation of instruments. Honorable members, item 10, presentation of instruments, education regulatory bodies, National Teaching Council Regulation 2026. Minister for Education.
Education regulatory bodies, National Teaching Council Regulations 2026.
Honorable members, the regulation is accordingly presented to the House and is for distribution to all members. I refer it for consideration and report to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation. The leadership of the Committee of Education is please enjoined to participate in the deliberation of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee. It is so referred. We go back to item 8. Questions? Yes, please. You want us to take those dealing with the Ministry of Food and Agri?
Mr. Speaker, that is so.
And so we will start from question number 433. It stands in the name of the Honorable Member of Parliament for Keita, Honorable Kwame Jijole Gape, or is it Gape? Yes, Honorable Member.
Speaker, thank you so much. Speaker, may I mount a prayer on Order 88 tray with the prior authorization of the member concerned to seek your permission to ask the question on his behalf. He's unavoidably not around. Yes, please. I have his, I said it.
Where did you get that phrase, unavoidably not present, for a member of parliament?
You have the vice president authority, that's all.
Speaker, I'm still learning.
Better learn.
When you read the standing orders well, you see that that applies to the speaker, not to a member of parliament.
Speaker, I'm guided.
If your member is unavoidably absent, you know the article in the Constitution. They will start applying for by-election. Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, that would be very dangerous. Speaker, these are friendly exchanges. So, Speaker, we pray that
yes,
you
Honorable Member,
permission to
you may do so.
ask that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the...
In other words, you are going to do so for 433, 428, and 431. They all stand in his name.
Exactly so.
Permission
Mr.
is
Speaker.
granted.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture what measures are being taken to control pests and diseases in crops and livestock. Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate, PPRSD, plays a crucial role in safeguarding national agriculture by protecting crops from pests, diseases, and invasive species through the underlisted interventions. 1. Pest prevention and early detection. The objective of this program is to protect crops before pests and diseases cause damage. Interventions being rolled out include the implementation of phytosanitary inspections at points of entry, the airports, seaports, land borders to prevent pest introduction. Conduct surveillance and monitoring programs for early detection of pests, example traps, field surveys, community reporting. Maintain and update pest risks database and pest status records. Promote quarantine regulations for imported plants and planting materials. Number 2, pest risk analysis, PRA, and management. And the objective is to assess and manage pest threats before they affect agriculture. Interventions include conduct pest risk assessment to determine the likelihood and potential impact of pest introductions, develop pest management strategies and emergency response plans based on risk profiles, collaborate with trading partners to manage transboundary pest risks. Number 3, emergency pest response and eradication. The objective of this program is to contain or eliminate pest outbreaks to minimize food losses. Interventions include establish rapid response teams for pest outbreaks, example fall armyworm, papaya mealybug, fruit flies. Develop and implement contingency and eradication plans. Provide training and equipment for emergency pest control, pesticides application, biological control. Coordinate with FAO, Center for Agriculture and Bioscience International, CABI, or regional bodies for technical support. Number 4, farmer education and extension support. And the objective of this program is to empower farmers with knowledge and tools to manage pests sustainably. Interventions include conduct awareness campaigns on pest identification and reporting, train farmers on integrated pest management practices, develop guidelines and manuals for safe pesticides use and biological control, develop guidelines, posters, and flyers on pest management practices, promote community-based surveillance and reporting networks. Number 5, research and innovation. The objective of this intervention is to develop science-based solutions for pest management and crop protection interventions. Interventions include collaboration with universities and research institutions for the rearing and releases of biological control agents for pest management. Collaborate with universities and research institutions for the deployment and releases of resistant crop varieties. And number 6, regulatory and policy framework. The objective of this is to provide governance and enforcement for plant health measures. Interventions include development and enforcement of Plants and Fertilizer Act 2010, Act 803, and its regulations. Establish standards for pest control products and inspection services. Mr. Speaker, on the livestock health, the Veterinary Services Directorate is implementing a series of strategic interventions to strengthen animal disease prevention, detection, and response across the country. Key measures include the following: disease surveillance and real-time reporting, EMA Plus digital tool nationwide, with the support from FAO to facilitate real-time animal disease reporting, early warning, and rapid response at all levels. Our veterinary laboratories across the country are being renovated and equipped with modern diagnostic tools to enable timely and accurate disease diagnosis for prompt outbreak response and control. Veterinary staff technical capacity in disease diagnosis, surveillance, and outbreak response, including priority diseases such as anthrax, rabies, zoonotic, TB, aquatic animal diseases, and avian diseases, among others. Mr. Speaker, above all, the ministry is revising the Diseases and Animals Act 1961, Act 83, to address emerging disease threats and to strengthen the legal authority for disease control measures, including inspection, quarantine, movement control, and enforcement actions. Also, we are providing training for veterinary meat inspectors across the country in accordance with the Meat Inspection Regulations 2020 LI 2405 to promote compliance with food safety standards at abattoirs and slaughter facilities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable members, you've heard the minister. Honorable member, any further questions? Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm so satisfied with the answers provided. Thank you.
Is that the authority they gave you? Yes. Honorable members, we move on to the next question, and the same member who has the authority to ask that question, and that's question number 428.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, we were all here when he mounted his application. And the application was specific to question 433. Now we are proceeding to question 428. And are you assuming that permission or authority? Because he should be mounting another application. And that's what he should be doing.
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, I think at that time your attention was distracted. I actually granted him the permission because all the three questions stand in the name of that honorable member, and he said he had the authority to ask the questions, all the three questions. So I granted him leave. So kindly permit him to move on. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture what initiatives have been implemented to boost agricultural production and increase farmers' income. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the ministry is rolling out the Feed Ghana program, a strategic initiative made up of 9 sub-programs. The program aims to boost the productivity and production of 22 priority commodities through targeted interventions, including, and Mr. Speaker, the 9 sub-programs and 22 priority commodities under the Feed Ghana program includes crop development, land development, livestock development, establishment of farmer service centers, farm bank development, institutional farming, feed the industry, agro-production enclaves and irrigation for wealth creation, innovative agricultural financing, institutional development, and management research. Mr. Speaker, the 22 priority commodities are grains and legumes, rice, maize, soybeans, and sorghum. Vegetables, we are looking at tomato, pepper, and onion, and other vegetables. Starchy crops, cassava, plantain, and yam. Livestock, poultry, ruminants, cattle, sheep, and goats, pigs. And then tree crops, we are looking at mango, shea, cashew, coconut, oil palm, etc. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Speaker, thank you so much. Speaker, I wish to thank the minister. Honestly, I can say on authority that farmers in my constituency have given testimonies about the fact that their lives are improving out of bumper harvest. Thank you.
Honorable member, we take the third question. The third question is question number 431. Please, Honorable member, you may do so now.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. To ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture how the government is strengthening extension services to provide farmers with information on best practices. Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the government is implementing a range of measures to strengthen agricultural extension and advisory, to provide farmers with timely, practical, and relevant information on best practices. These include the following. 1. Farm and home visits. Agricultural extension agents are deployed nationwide to undertake weekly farm and home visits and attend to the needs of farmers. Apart from the public extension agents, the ministry is working with the National Service Secretariat to recruit 10,000 personnel to support extension service delivery. So far, about 2,097 national service persons and 300 Feed Ghana Brigade personnel were deployed across the country. Working logistics such as motorbikes were recently distributed to 150 AEAs and Feed Ghana coordinators to enhance mobility and field work. Additional 410 motorbikes are programmed for distribution by close of the year. There are also continuous professional development programs for AEAs to enhance extension and advisory services delivery. The areas of capacity development are agribusiness, farm management, value chain analysis, financial management, network and negotiations, group dynamics, and leadership. 2. Agricultural Extension and Advisory Services Bill. The ministry is formulating the Agricultural Extension and Advisory Services Bill to regulate the professional practice of extension and advisory services. To this end, the activities of both public and private extension service providers will be regulated. The bill seeks to establish standards and guidelines for service delivery, including the appropriate methods and approaches for disseminating improved technologies and information to farmers. With professionalized personnel, both public and private, and well-regulated agricultural extension and advisory services space, farmers will be better served. Over 1,981 public extension agents, 2,285 community-based advisors, and a number of private sector extension providers are expected to be beneficiaries of the bill. Number 3, support for the deployment of ICT to deliver extension services. To bridge the gap between farmers and agricultural extension agents, ICT tools such as mobile phones, radio, and other e-extension platforms have been deployed to complement the conventional AEA face-to-face interaction with farmers. 36 episodes of weekly agricultural radio broadcasts in various local languages have been aired on topical issues across the regions and districts. In addition, sales farmer-friendly videos have been developed and translated into local languages for dissemination and adoption. They cover topics such as deworming ruminants, selecting quality seeds, safe use and handling of agrochemicals, managing new castor in poultry, vegetable nursery bed establishment, and proper housing for ruminants. Number 4, strengthen research, extension, and farmer linkages. Farmer constraints are addressed through close collaboration with research to provide information, innovation, and improved technologies. These are in the form of community field demonstrations, trials, verification fields, and provision of technical information on good agricultural practices to encourage adoption of improved technologies and innovations. 56 community field demonstration plots on maize, rice, soya, and tomatoes have been established in the Northeast, North region, Northern region, Northeast, Northern, and Upper East, Ashanti, and Bron regions. Some of the disseminated technologies are improved seed varieties, drought-tolerant, soil fertility enhancement techniques, such as biochar and compost application, blended fertilizers fortified with micronutrients, integrated pest and disease management strategies using neem oil, and sustainable agricultural mechanization. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question.
Speaker, that will be all. I'm exceedingly grateful to you. Thank you.
Honorable members, we now move on to question number 465. The question stands in the name of Honorable Akwasi Jemfi Onyina Achampon, the Honorable Member for Kwabre East. Please, Honorable Member, you may do so now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand on Order 88.3 with the permission and authority of the member, Mr. Akwasi Jemfi Onyina, to seek your permission to ask the question for and on his behalf. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, permission granted. Please, you may do so.
I rise to ask the Minister for Agri what the ministry intends to do to address the volatility of the world market prices of cashew and its impact on the farm gates prices and exports. Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while price volatility remains a complex issue influenced by global market forces, the Tree Crop Development Authority, acting within its legal mandates, is implementing a combination of pricing reforms, regulatory enforcement, market monitoring, and investment promotion initiatives aimed at stabilizing the cashew market, protecting farmers, and promoting sustainable value addition. The overarching goal is to ensure that Ghanaian cashew farmers receive fair, predictable, and competitive prices, while the country secures long-term growth and resilience in the cashew value chain. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, any supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I only seek to ask the measures. Are we looking at some timelines, for example, the price reforms that he is mentioning and the regulations? Are we looking at some timeline for them? Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the enforcement of the regulations have started already. Some 2-3 weeks ago, I was in Kumasi Police Training School to inaugurate a task force dedicated to ensure the enforcement of all the rules and regulations in that particular sector. And so we have already started. And the Honorable Member, if you have been monitoring development in the tree crop subsector, you appreciate the fact that these measures are underway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I humbly seek if the Minister can tell us the extent to which his stakeholders within this area are being engaged with regards to the measures he's mentioning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, stakeholders in the agricultural space are fully engaged on every policy that we are implementing. In fact, on assumption of office, before we developed the Feed Ghana program document, which guides the implementation of all the programs we are running under the Feed Ghana program, we invited a technical team to put together the document. And then after that, all the stakeholders were invited to validate the contents of the document for implementation. And that is the extent of engagement that we have gone through. So stakeholders are fully engaged, and we still want to engage more if the opportunity comes. In fact, if it is realized that the honorable member, being a citizen of this country and a member of this house, has something to offer for agricultural development, I'm ever ready to engage you.
Any further supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the Minister appearing before the House to respond to my question. And I believe his response will be in the public domain for discussion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, we move on to question number 528.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member. You want to ask a supplementary question?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, you may do so.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister acknowledged that pricing of cashew was determined by the market forces. Nevertheless, he also enumerated steps that were being taken to ensure stability of pricing as far as the local market was concerned. Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister how these measures would ensure the stability of prices, given that it is determined by world market forces. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the honorable colleague who posed this question to me happens to be my classmate from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And when I was the electoral commissioner, he approached me to support him to get one of the positions, which I declined. But Mr. Speaker, on a more serious note,
Yes, honourable member.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, thankfully, we have colleagues from KNUST here. Honorable Stephen Amwai was there. I never stood for any position on KNUST campus. Never. Mr. Speaker, he was electoral commissioner, and we used to engage in political debates at the foyer of the social science faculty. But Mr. Speaker, personally, I never stood for any position. So Mr. Speaker, that is not correct. So Mr. Speaker, if that can be expunged from the record.
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to respond to it. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of price stability in the world market, there's little we can do to influence prices in the world market. And that is why in my answer, I indicated that we are looking at value addition. So instead of exporting the raw cashew nut to the market and then not getting enough in the form of incomes, we are adding value to what is produced here in order to increase our incomes domestically. And that's the only way we can uproot poverty from our system. And so to say that how can you influence world market price from Ghana means that you don't have a better appreciation of the conditions in the world market.
Yes, honourable member, before we proceed, please, we can't leave this issue to be hanging. Did you actually approach him to sponsor you to stand in all the position?
Mr. Speaker, I never approached him. He knows that, Mr. Speaker, I never stood for any position. He's just Mr. Speaker, even as easy, how power did he have to give a position?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I never said anywhere that he contested for elections. But he consulted me, he discussed with me. And because I declined to support him, he did not. And in fact, in his own statement, he stated that he used to debate. Ask him what were the issues that we debated on. My brother, It is for the past. It is for the past. Don't bring it here. Don't bring it here.
Honorable members, is word against word. We don't want to go into investigation by cross-examination, and so we'll end it here. We move on to question number 528. Question number 528 stands in the name of, my daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, whilst we were talking about value addition and cashew, I want to respectfully bring to your attention that this year's budget has provision for the construction of 2 cashew factories in the Bono and Bono East regions. And also,
are you the Minister for Food and Agri?
Mr. Speaker, I am the Minister for Agribusiness, Minister responsible for value addition of cashew.
Have you been asked any question?
Mr. Speaker, this is very important information that I need to bring to the attention
Honorable Minister,
on the floor.
At the appropriate time, you give us that information.
Thank you very much.
Please, don't try to take advantage of question time to give us your information. Yes, we move on to question number 528. Honorable member for Hemang Lower Dentura, Honorable Lawrence Ajinsam. You may ask the question now. Yes, since the honorable member is not available, we move on to the next question. Question number 530 stands in the name of the honorable member for Adotobiri, Honorable Anthony Emia. Please, honorable member, you may do so now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture what interventions the ministry is undertaking to ensure fair and equitable distribution of food nationwide in the light of increasing cost of foodstuff across the country, especially in mining communities.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for this year, the ministry through the Feed Ghana program has provided nationwide support to smallholder farmers by supplying essential farm inputs, including improved seeds of tomato, rice, and maize, as well as fertilizers to boost crop production. In addition to individual farmers, the ministry extended input support to key institutions such as the National Service Authority, the Ghana Prison Service, and some farmer-based organizations to enhance their agricultural productivity. Again, the national buffer stock is being strengthened to mop up excess food produce from the systems as part of the strategy to ensure all year-round food supply. Regional directors have also been placed on alert to inform the ministry and buffer stock of any excess produce occurring in their regions for immediate mop-up action. Mr. Speaker, these interventions collectively promote fair and inclusive access to food across Ghana by 1. Enhancing productivity in underserved regions by targeting all the agroecological zones. The ministry ensures that food production is not concentrated in a few areas, reducing regional disparities in food availability. We are also supporting institutional farms. Farm inputs to the prison service, the National Service Authority, and other institutional bodies help stabilize food supply in public institutions and government programs like the school feeding program, reducing pressure on local markets. Mr. Speaker, the impact of these interventions is reflected in Ghana's recent food inflation trends. According to Ghana Statistical Service, food inflation dropped to 3.9% in December 2025, down from 28.3% in January 2025, when the NDC government took over. This decline suggests improved food supply and price stability, driven by increased domestic production and reduced reliance on imports. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, just one supplementary. Mr. Minister, simple question. Are there any mechanisms your ministry has put in place to monitor and prevent price manipulation and exploitation by middlemen, particularly within mining communities? And how is your ministry collaborating with local authorities to stabilize food prices in these areas?
Yes, Minister, it's a very important question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we appreciate the fact that food prices in the production enclave are low. But when it comes to the urban areas, when demand is very high, food prices are high. It is the imbalance that we are trying to resolve. And so we are developing what we call the farmers market, where we can bring the farmers to interface with the buyers, the consumers directly, as a way of removing those middle people who exploit the system in their favor. And so it is something that we are working. We are creating what we call farmers market. And when that is created, the farmers will be able to bring the food stuffs to the market where the consumers will be available. And that is why in the budget, you saw that allocation has been made for the construction of 1,000 kilometers under what we call the agricultural roads. Because if we are able to fix roads linking the production centers to the consumption centers, transportation will be very easy. And once we are able to overcome that, food prices will be stable for all of us. Thank you very much.
Yes, the honorable gentleman in the middle, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm compelled to ask my last supplementary in view of the last answer that was given by the minister. So
Well,
if I may be permitted.
You learning by experience. Because when you said that was your last supplementary, I almost asked you, do you know the answer that the minister will give? Because that could trigger another supplementary. But here we are now. You are permitted because you haven't exhausted your three
I am very
questions.
grateful, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, are you aware of the fact that when it comes to food pricing in today's Ghana, most foodstuff are priced higher in mining communities as against the urban areas, in view of the fact that lands which originally were used for farming have all now been turned into mining activities, thereby limiting the amount of foodstuff that is produced in mining areas. Are you aware of that?
Minister, are you aware?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware. But the current situation is this. If the honorable member is not aware, as we speak today, we have maize, rice, beans in excess of our demand. Even in this chamber today, the Honorable Rashid Pepuo just approached me. Honorable Rashid Pepuo alone has almost 1,000 bags of maize ready for market, and he's not getting market. In fact, I've even been told, Mr. Speaker, what we are doing as government is that we have provided resources to the National Food Buffer Stock to mop up the excess from the market and store against emergencies. And this is the first time in the history of our country that we are doing this. It was never done during your time. It never happened.
Honourable members, usually it's not advisable to ask a question, are you aware? Because the answer can be, I'm not aware, I am aware, and that's the end. You can't come back again. And so you don't ask questions like, are you aware? You see, Minister, you are aware, I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you, because we are all experiencing it, that the size of Kenke has not changed. Neither has the price. In spite of the food glut, in spite of the lower prices, he is aware. We are together in that. Well, if he denies, I will assess him.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware.
Exactly what I stated. You see, so I've assessed you and I've just made him to know that it's not advisable for people to ask questions, are you aware? Because the answer will be, I'm not aware, or I'm aware, and that's the end of it. So please, I'll give more people. I haven't reached excellency yet. I'm just speaker. Yes, I had earlier on given it to the young man behind Honorable Jinapo, the young man behind you. He's not young.
But you are young.
He comes from where?
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker.
Can you share your age with us?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I'm Gideon Boako, the MP for Tanonof constituency. And I'm one of your sons, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm very, very young. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the minister talks about farmers market concepts. And the understanding I get from what the minister says is that the problem we have with the production of food and its distribution now is the difficulty in getting the foodstuffs from the farm gate to the main market or the intermediate markets, i.e. by the roadside. But Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ and to suggest that there is a bigger problem than the movement of foodstuffs from the farm gate to the market. As the minister indicated, a colleague member of parliament has about 1,000 bags of rice that are not in demand. Maize. Similarly, if you move across the country, I can use my constituency as an example. If you go to the Tanonof constituency that the minister is very much conversant with, there are communities like in Suapim, Boma, and all of that.
Member,
a lot of
the background, you know,
by the roadside.
Please ask the question.
The question I want to put to the minister is that what measures is he putting in place to ensure that in the era of lower inflation, food inflation, the demand for food will be enhanced such that the farmers will also be better off. As it stands, the farmers are not better off because they produce and the produce are not in demand. What measures is the minister putting in place to ensure that food is in high demand despite having lower inflation?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my understanding of the question is that it's simple. How do we increase demand for food in the system? But the honorable member knows that everybody has limited capacity in respect of how much food to eat. And so what we are looking at is the entire value chain, processing of the food. The first step is increasing production, which we have achieved. We have produced so much to the extent that prices are collapsing far below what is expected. And so what we are going to do is to develop the entire value chain, set up processing factories, add value, package them, and even export. That is the only thing we can do to increase demand. But the first thing we must all applaud is that we have increased food production. Now, having done that, what is next? The next thing is to look at how we can add value. And that's what we are looking at. And then you also talk about food prices. That food inflation has come down, but still prices are high. How can that be possible? What is the meaning of food inflation then? When we had food inflation at 61%, Ghana was listed among 10 countries in Africa with the highest food prices. And so why are you saying that today food inflation is 3.9% and you are still complaining about food prices? Where?
Well, who is the most senior? Is it the former minister? Yes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today the Ghana Statistical Service reported that food insecurity is gone up, and that today is moved from 35.3% from Q1 2024 to 38.1% in Q2 2025.
First Deputy Speaker to take the chair.
Yes, honourable member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was laying the foundation for the question. And the point was that the Ghana Statistical Service today is reported that food insecurity is risen from 35.3% in 2024 to 38.1% last year. And the service has actually warned that 13 million Ghanaians risk hunger this year. Mr. Speaker, this report was released by the Ghana Statistical Service today. The minister is telling us that we are self-sufficient when it comes to food security. The question is, Mr. Speaker, in the light of these alarming statistics and data put out by the Ghana Statistical Service today, what assurances can the minister give to this House in terms of dealing with the situation where 13 million Ghanaians do not slip into hunger? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've already indicated that as we speak, we are building food buffer. In fact, I will write to Ghana Statistical Service to give us the locations of these individuals so that from our buffer, we can supply them, we can give them food. No, I'm not saying, I'm not disputing what you have said. What I'm saying is that, Honorable, I'm not disputing what you have said.
Honorable Minister.
What I'm saying is that if we have 13 million people in Ghana who are food insecure, we must know their locations so that we can make them food secure. their locations. You understand? So that's why I'm saying that once we have food buffer against emergencies, just indicate to me that close to your house you have 10 people who are food insecure. Today, I will supply them food.
Yes, Honorable Kobi Mensah.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Agriculture is aware that the Statistical Service information is for the whole country. He has also said that there's enough food in the system people are not able to buy. It is also public knowledge that the Bank of Ghana have siphoned off over 60 billion Ghana cedis from the markets, not allowing traders to have the money to trade. I therefore put it to him that
Honorable Member, you have a right to ask a question but not to put it to the Minister. Kindly resume your seat. Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker.
You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Buama, you have the floor. Honorable Minister, kindly resume your seat.
My question.
You are putting it to him. You don't do that. You ask a question. Please, you have the floor.
Rephrase it.
Honorable Buama, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister in his response and has continuously put on the floor of the House that the national buffer stock is being strengthened to mop up excess food produced from the system as part of the strategy to ensure all year-round food supply. It is different when the buffer stock is being strengthened from it has been strengthened. Because when you go to the
Honorable Member, what is your question?
I'm building just a 30-second and I'll ask the question. I'm saying this because this is a national concern. If you check around, there's a lot of complaints about food being produced at the market, at the site, and they are not being brought to the market. And this is a major issue. So my question is, if the buffer stock has been or is supposed to be strengthened in this year, how much have been released to buffer stock, and what have they actually been able to purchase out of the market so that we can be sure that they are buying the excesses from the market to give price stability to the traders and also having enough stock to feed the people who are.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes, you are right. You know exactly what is happening in the system, and which is far different from what other colleagues have been saying. You go to Sisala, your position is excellent. They have produced maize, rice, beans, and others far in excess of the demand in that area. As you speak, price of a bag of maize in Sisala is selling around 250-300 Ghana cedis. If farmers are allowed to sell at this price, certainly they cannot recoup their investment. And that is why I'm saying that we have resourced the national food buffer stock. In the 2025 budget, this House approved 100 million Ghana cedis for them to mop up the excess. That was insufficient. And that was why in the 2026 budget, an additional 200 million was provided. And I added that this is the first time in the history of our country that Ghana is building food buffer against emergencies. You don't know the story. Don't shout. That is the reality. This is the first time. And you cannot contest this. Ask your colleagues. They will tell you.
Honorable Minister, address the chair. Yes, Honorable Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to appeal to you with regards to our honorable member of Tagwan, Honorable He's a very senior person in this chamber. And I would like I want to appeal to you to allow him to
Yes, that is more reason.
rephrase.
You would agree with me that question time is not a period for cross-examination. It is not a period for making statements. Above all, you are asking a supplementary question. Go ahead and ask your question. After a long background, you said, I'm putting it to you. Are we doing cross-examination? So you've rightly stated that he's a senior lawyer, he's a senior member, and he knows exactly that question time is not a time for cross-examination. That was my worry.
Mr. Speaker, I'm only pleading with you that you give him the opportunity to rephrase the question.
Very well.
Yes.
You have the floor. Rephrase your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This question is very important. That's why I have reason to ask again. Mr. Speaker, the fact of the matter is that there is food insecurity across the length and breadth of the country. The minister is also saying that there are loads and loads of food across the country that have not been bought from farmers. My position, Mr. Speaker, and my question is that if the Bank of Ghana have siphoned so much money out of the system, and the minister is saying that there's overproduction, I would like to know from the minister how much in value term of food that are still sitting at the farmers' gates, and how much the 200 they have budgeted for will be able to take away from the farmers,
yes,
so that the farmers
Minister.
can work this year.
Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, according to our technical team, we need not less than 600 million Ghana cedis. Not less than 600 million Ghana cedis to be able to mop up the excess of food that we have in our system now, especially paddy rice. So I'm surprised that even in minority, you cannot speak with one voice. A colleague just got up here and said there is food everywhere, they are not getting market. Another person will get up here and said, I haven't seen that. There is no food. There's food insecurity. Why can't you adopt a common position?
Yes. Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the minister in answering the question, he said he used a certain phrase, Mr. Speaker, which I think is not right, and that he should withdraw that. He said, even in minority, we cannot even agree. Mr. Speaker, when you say that you are generating, Mr. Speaker,
he said you are not speaking with one voice.
Mr. Speaker, his answer must not generate debate. His answer must not generate debate. So with respect to you, Minister, this is not your political platform. I beg you, withdraw that.
Honorable Habib. Honorable Habib, when I took over, I give the floor to Honorable Boama. His question resulted into an answer from the minister that I agree with you. If you go to Sisala, that is what is actually happening. Now, Honorable Kobi also came. So is it not the case that when you just oppose Kobi's question as against Honorable Boama's question, what the minister is saying is correct?
Mr. Speaker, how can individual members' question be a position of the minority? But he is saying that even in minority, we are not agreeing. It's not minority speaking, okay, Mr. Speaker. So he must withdraw that, Mr. Speaker.
Should I give the opportunity to the minister to say minority members?
No, Mr. Speaker, if a member asks a question in his capacity, you don't attribute it to the entire minority, Mr. Speaker. So
Honorable Habib, should I give the floor to the minister to correct it by saying minority members?
He should put it in proper perspective.
Because minority members. Minister, they say put it in proper perspective.
Mr. Speaker, what I said was very simple. I thought this is the minority. And in fact, they describe themselves as the mighty minority. And then a colleague stood up here. A colleague from the minority said, he said, no, if you want me to address the cocoa matter, I want to assure you, even though it is not under me, if you give me the opportunity here, I will deal with it here.
Minister, the issue is not about cocoa, so ignore the side comments.
What I said was a fact, but if they want to be considered as individuals and no longer the mighty minority they claim to be, then I will withdraw that common position thing and then say that I cannot understand why members of this house can have such different opinions on matters, something that is common to everybody in this country. But in any case, if in your constituency the people are food insecure, then there is something that you must know. At the beginning of 2025, as part of the Feed Ghana program, we launched the campaign for individual households to have backyard gardens so that on their own they can produce some vegetables to support the feeding of the house. This was a strategic move to reduce the cost of feeding in this country. Many people participated. I don't think you can say on this floor that you and your constituents never participated in this program. Then again, we also advocated for secondary schools to have school farms, and 413 schools have been registered. They were given inputs. They are producing to support the school feeding program. This will obviously reduce total demand in the system. Churches are participating, state agencies are participating, members of parliament here are also participating. As you speak, Honorable, the former defense minister, signaled me that, Eric, I also have 2,000 bags of rice I'm looking for market. And just a colleague on your left is talking about food insecurity. And that's why I said that, look, if people are food insecure, let me know where they are. If they are in your constituency, I will just buy the rice from Honorable Nitiwul and then sell to them immediately. That solves the problem. So we don't have to banter this matter. Honorable.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, it's true. It's actually true that I have 2,000 bags of paddy rice, 100 kg bags of paddy rice lying down. Mr. Speaker, the reason is that last year this time, that same bag of rice was 1,000 Ghana cedi. Today, it's being sold at 400 cedis. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, the problem is not overproduction. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Chamba market, you go to Bundri market, you go to Techima market, you go to Pasam market, when the farmers send yam, cassava, maize, whatever, people are not buying, and they have to carry it back. Your colleagues, you spread across the whole country, and you can testify to it. So Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Nitiwul, what is your question?
Mr. Speaker, my question to the minister. Mr. Speaker, my question to the minister is, what steps is he going to take to solve this very problem? Why farmers will take their produce to the market, people are not buying, and they'll have to take it back. They will take it the next week, people will not buy, they'll take it back. Whether it is tubers, whether it is rice, whether it is maize, whether it is pepper, whether it is dry okra, they are not buying. How are you going to make sure that that problem is resolved for farmers? That's what farmers want to hear. That's all it is. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, Minister, though you provided the answer in a way, you may have the...
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I think I've answered this question earlier on. When the same question was posed by Honorable Jinapo, I said what we are looking at is value addition. Value addition. That is why we have launched the Feed the Industry program, and it is being handled by the Minister for Agribusiness. You are saying now. You see,
but Honorable Minister, Honorable former Minister, listen to the answer first.
I like the spirit with which you are asking that it should be done now. I'm worried that you didn't have the same spirit when you had the power to do so, because all these things were there. You never do that. You never did it. Today we are doing it. We are doing it. We are adding value, and we are saying now. Let me tell you, Honorable, as you speak, we have registered some of the millers in the northern enclave where we have the glut of paddy rice. What we want them to do is to buy the paddy rice, mill, and then transport to buffer stock so that buffer will be able to buy them. We've also spoken to ECOWAS. This time round, we are not going to borrow rice. We are not going to borrow maize. Rather, we are asking them to come and buy from us here. And so we are putting in place a lot of mechanisms. And I've given you the assurance that your 2,000 bags of paddy you are complaining about, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, through the buffer stock, will buy it for you. And that is why I'm worried at our colleagues who, in spite of this situation, are saying that there is food insecurity. Is it because they are living in a different world or what? That's the problem I have. Because you know the reality, our colleague doesn't know the reality. And he's talking about something that is not in existence. That's the difficulty.
Abu Habib.
Mr. Speaker, if I heard the minister right, he said until this year, there has never been any food buffers for food security, if that is what actually he said. So is it the case that the then Professor Mills administration established buffer stock for two main reasons? One, for commercial purpose. Two, to get food buffer for food security in terms of crisis. So you are saying that from then up to today, there had never been any food or buffers for purposes of food security. Is that the case?
Yes, because that's exactly my point. When the buffer stock was set up, an amount of 12 million Ghana cedis was given to buffer stock to set up during the Professor Mills' time. And since then, government of Ghana never advanced a peswa to buffer stock to maintain strategic stocks against emergencies until 2025 and 2026. These are facts that can be verified. And you are aware, you are a member of the committee, you know this.
Mr. Speaker, Minister, so is it the case that...
Honorable Habib, how many supplementary questions are you entitled to? Hello? How many, by the rules, how many supplementary questions are you entitled to? Honorable Habib, once you have exceeded your supplementary question, I think... how many are you entitled to?
Okay, my last question. Minister responsible for Agric. So based on the answer provided, so you are saying that there was no proper thinking by the Professor Mills administration in establishing buffer stock?
Well, so long as you said no proper thinking, I have not heard that from the minister, so I will disallow the question. Minister, resume your seat. Yes, Honorable Jerry Ahmed. Question disallowed.
Thank you
Honorable Jelly, yes, you have the floor.
Speaker, it seems as if there is a lot of noise in the chamber. Yes, Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, I want to respectfully ask the Minister what it means to say that there is food insecurity against the backdrop that the yam farmers are complaining that they have a lot of harvest, tubers of yams. The rice farmers are complaining they have a lot of. Is it the inability to procure them that amounts to food insecurity, or the accessibility? I would respectfully want the minister, because he was trying to let my senior know that we don't understand food insecurity. So we want him to shed more light on what.
Yes, Minister.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, food security means food must be available. 2, it must be affordable. 3, you must get the food in its right combination of quality, diet. If you, let's say you are talking about balanced diet, you get the nutrients in its right proportion. And then supply must be sustainable. There shouldn't be any opportunity, any means to have shortage of food in the system. So 1, we have the food in sufficient quantities, availability of food. Now you cannot complain about that. Then you talk about affordability, whether people can afford or not. And I'm saying that yes, because food prices have collapsed so low, and everybody, and that is why I said, please, that is why I said that, look, as a nation, we are building food buffers. If you say that you have conducted a survey, and the findings include the fact that some people are food insecure, indicate to us the locations so that we go to our stores, make food available to them, and they will be fed. That's all.
Speaker, I have videos of farmers complaining with reference to the tubers of yams they have and bags of rice and all of that. If the minister is not seeing those videos, I'll share those videos with him. That they are complaining. In fact, some are dying, saying that they are unable to pay their children's, their school fees.
Honorable Ahmed, you are engaging in argument rather than asking
Mr.
questions.
Speaker, that should be all.
What the honorable member is saying is not even relevant. You are talking about videos of farmers complaining of the fact that they are not getting market for their produce. And that's exactly what I'm saying here. And we are saying that because of that, we have empowered buffer stock to move into the market and then mop up the excess. So if you show me those pictures, the pictures never portray insecurity of food anywhere. And that is why I'm saying that it is irrelevant. You don't even point to those things.
Honourable members, we take the last supplementary question, then we'll move on. Yes, Honourable.
Mr. Speaker,
I've been taking from this side. Let me take one supplementary from Honourable Nogbe. Honourable Kinsley, resume your seat for now.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Agriculture that is it true that in a few years past, a bag of rice was 1,000 Ghana cedis, but now has reduced to 400 Ghana cedis? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, yes, it is true. In 2024, a bag of rice, 100 kg, was sold at 1,600. Even maize, 1,500, 1,600. And today it's around 300, 400 in other areas. The honorable member mentioned Techima market. Just last week, we sent our team there to go and buy maize. And it's around 500 Ghana cedis. When you go to a dry, the farmers are crying. They are not getting the prices they want. And that is the situation. In the face of abundance, certainly, price will collapse. But we have to put in place mechanisms to protect the interest, the investment of these farmers. And that is why I disagree with the doomsayers when they talk about food insecurity and the rest of them in Ghana.
Yes, Honorable Kinsinyako.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister regarding the support, the nationwide support for the smallholder farmers. The criteria that was used and the criteria that was used in the nationwide support and the regional composition and the cost involved in this whole exercise. Thank you.
Which exercise?
The support for the smallholder farmers.
Please, having regard to the question on the floor, you may kindly file a fresh question. Thank you very much. Honourable members, let's move to question number 529. Also standing in the name of Honourable Anthony Inye, Member of Parliament for Odo-Tobri. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture what specific measures are currently being implemented to enhance the oil palm industry in Ghana, particularly in the processing sector, given that the Minerals Commission has distributed millions of oil palm seedlings since 2019.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Tree Crops Development Authority is recognized as the sole authority mandated to regulate and develop the mandated crops, including the oil palm. The TCDA, in conjunction with Oil Palm Research Institute and Oil Palm Development Association of Ghana, coordinate the distribution of oil palm seedlings to farmers. OPRI is supported to focus on research into improved varieties of seeds and seedling production. Mr. Speaker, the objectives of the government of Ghana's integrated oil palm development policy include cultivating 100,000 hectares of new oil palm plantations, creating over 250,000 direct and indirect jobs across the value chain, achieve self-sufficiency in palm oil production and export competitiveness, and promote sustainability, gender inclusion, and equitable participation for women and youth. Supply of oil palm seedlings to farmers. Mr. Speaker, under this initiative, the Tree Crop Development Authority has distributed over 2 million oil palm seedlings to farmers. A seed and seedling production policy have been developed by TCDA, the Oil Palm Development Association of Ghana, and the Oil Palm Research Institute of the Council for Science and Industrial Research to regulate that part of the value chain. OPRI and the Ghana Standards Authority have developed standards and guidelines for seed production and distribution, which will regulate the operation of nurseries and traders of seedlings. Mr. Speaker, on processing, as part of the government's $500 million investment in the oil palm sector, as stated in the 2026 budget statement, the World Bank is examining data from the top large-scale processors to determine financing structure and models for investment into the sector. And again, equal attention is being paid to the small-scale artisanal processors to provide modern and efficient machinery that is environmentally friendly. The sector employs nearly 60,000 people, mostly women and youth. Mr. Speaker, though TCDA is not involved in the distribution of seedlings by the Minerals Commission, the ministry will not hesitate a request from the Minerals Commission.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question? Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There will be no supplementary questions.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, we move to question number 659, standing in the name of Honourable Dr. Thomas Anaba, Member of Parliament for Garu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture the status of the stalled Tamne irrigation project in Garu and the steps the ministry is taking to ensure its completion and when it is expected to be completed.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Tamne Phase 3 project combines outstanding works from phases 1 and 2, along with infrastructure that was damaged after the completion during the 2021 Northern Ghana floods. The scope of Phase 3 of the project includes downstream works, conduit works, spillway channel stabilization works, spillway dike formation, canal construction, irrigable area development. All the physical works under Phase 3 are about 70% complete. The outstanding works to date include the construction of lateral canals, the installation of turnout gates, and the clearing of approximately 300 hectares of farmland. Mr. Speaker, the challenge is that the resurgence of the age-old chieftaincy conflict between the Mampusis and the Kusasis within the Boko Garu enclave, where the project is situated, has unfortunately affected the smooth execution and the completion of the project. The contractor had to move his staff out of the project site when it became unsafe and dangerous to continue operations. As it stands, the project completion timeline is in suspense due to the conflict situation. Mr. Speaker, the project management team and the contractor are currently monitoring the situation on the ground. I will proceed to finish the work when the conditions become favorable. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture, through the District Department of Agriculture for the 4 district assemblies, will continue to support farmers in expanding their operations in irrigable areas. The Ghana Irrigation Development Authority will continue to educate landowners and mobilize farmers for the effective management of the irrigation schemes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question? Please use any available microphone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. A follow-up question. They say the devil always finds work for the idle hands. The youth are engaged perhaps in the conflict because they have no work to do. So, Mr. Minister or Speaker, considering the quantum of work that has been done already, just to develop the irrigable part of the land behind the dike, don't you think it will be worthy of deploying security to protect the contractor so that he would conclude the little job that is left to make the place irrigable and to employ that very youth who are engaged in the conflict?
Yes,
because we've spent
Minister,
a lot of money already.
Please, you have asked your question. Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I think that's a good suggestion, but we are also looking at it from this perspective, talking to the youth to bring an end to the conflict so that we can create that congenial and then enlivened atmosphere that can develop the area. So that's what we are working on. And Mr. Speaker, let me say that the honorable member who posed this question has been to my office more than 10 times on this particular project. And at some point, I even had to invite the contractor and the project management team to come and meet with him to see how we can find lasting solution to the situation. But it all boils down to the insecurity in the area. And we are also working with the security agencies, especially the police. As soon as they give us indication that the place is safe for construction to begin, I can promise my colleague that we will not hesitate to move to the field.
Any further supplementary?
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. We will collaborate with you and speak to the youth to lay down the arms and allow the contractor to come back. Thank you.
Honourable Member, this is a constituency specific. Honourable Minister, we thank you very much for attending upon the House to respond to a number of questions slated for you. You are hereby discharged. Honourable members, I would proceed to invite, yes.
Speaker, I want to plead with you to intricate the business time on question and pray that we do a committee of the whole so that we can take the NHIS formula because the minister responsible for labor has had an emergency call in the office, so it's not immediately available to deal with the 3 questions standing in his name. So I want to use the opportunity to pray you to do a committee of the whole and take the formula on NHIS and the medical trust fund. Then we can come back and do it. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Deputy Minority Leader. Yes. Very well. Speak into the microphone.
Speaker, I wish to live long. So the application mounted by the whip, it finds favor with us because we have had an engagement to that effect. So we don't object to it.
Very well. That being the sense of the House, I would then reconstitute the House into a committee of the whole. And whilst reconstituting the House into a committee of the whole, I would invite the Minister for Health as well as the officials from the National Health Insurance Scheme to take their designated seats.
Okay. Speaker. Yes. Speaker.
Yes.
Let the record reflect that we are also considering the Ghana Medical Trust Fund formula as well as the NHI formula.
Please don't lead me into temptation. My instruction is to do the National Health Insurance Scheme. That's the instruction that I have received.
Speaker, I am certain that you receive further instructions.
Very well. Should I receive a further instructions? Or do so. So, Marshal, can you help us to clear the public gallery? The House is accordingly constituted into a committee of the whole.